evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Sounds of the Diaspora, Artist to Artist, a conversation with yours truly, Dion Parson. I really want you guys to get excited about this guest tonight because this is someone that I've known for a while, and he's an amazing bass player, composer, arranger, producer. He's doing it all, man, and he has African roots, and he's going to tell you his story. But I just want to have you guys join me and welcome into the show, the one and only Mr. Essiet Okon Essiet.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the bush.
Welcome to the bush.
Welcome, my friends.
How's it going, man?
Oh, it's so fine. Everything's cool.
Everything's good? You're in New York now, right?
Yeah, Queens, New York.
Yeah, last time I spoke to you on the West Coast, so you're going back and forth.
Yeah, I've been spending time in San Jose, California.
Okay. Okay.
Mostly with my wife, Sylvia Cuenca, who's a drummer.
Okay. Yeah. Sylvia, amazing drummer. Last time I saw Sylvia was at Birdland this summer. I went and checked her out. Yeah, she was doing the presentation. Scotty Barnard was on trumpet. Wycliffe Gordon. Yeah, that was a great gig.
Wow. Yeah, great.
Yeah, man. It was good to hear her too. I haven't heard. It's been a while since I heard her, but it was good to hear her. Yeah, man. But how are things with you?
Things are very, very good, and things have been rolling along, and been doing different projects and enjoying life and going back and forth.
Okay.
From West Coast to East Coast, bi-coastal.
Right. Well, for our listeners, I mean, I mentioned that you're a bass player, you're a composer, you have your own band, you've worked with some of the greatest artists out here. So, briefly just share with our audience, like, your background history. I know you're Nigerian, but, just kind of give our audience a brief overview of, your upbringing.
Yeah. My parents were from Nigeria, but they immigrated to the States, and I was born in the States. I was born in Omaha, Nebraska. But I didn't really grow up there because we moved around every 2 years. My dad worked for the U.S. government, and they move you every 2 years. So I went from there to Michigan, to Arkansas, and then back to Nigeria. I lived in London, then came back to the States, lived in Boston and Wisconsin, San Diego, Corvallis, Oregon, Portland, Oregon. And then I also lived in Los Angeles, and then I also lived in Amsterdam and Istanbul, Turkey, and Germany. sounds like I'm on the road, but
they prepared you for a life on the road. That's how you was like, man, I'm moving around so much, man. I should just be a touring musician, huh?
Yeah, that's why I wasn't. Some people say, "Oh, touring is hard," but to me, it was just I felt like I was when I was growing up, just moving around.
Right, yeah. So how did music come into all of this?
Well, my mom loved music. She loved Nigerian music and classical music. And then when I was 10 years old, she wanted me to play violin. And so I started playing violin in an orchestra. And at the same time, she would play a lot of Nigerian records at home. And I was hearing that too. So I was hearing classical and Nigerian music, high life mostly.
Right.
And that's the dance music of her generation. But when I got to high school, my music teacher was a jazz freak. So he put on a record for Clifford Brown and Miles Davis. And I was like, I never heard that before. I was like, what is that? Sounds like magic to me. So that's when I was introduced to jazz. And I was in high school. I was 14, I guess. And I wanted to play the bass because when each section would tune up, when they got to the bass section tuning up, I thought to myself, that's what I want to play. I want to play bass violin.
Well, you was playing violin at the time.
I was playing violin at the time, yeah. And so the teachers, there was one senior left in the bass section, so teacher told them to give me a lesson because the bass players were all graduating. So he gave me a lesson. That's when I started playing bass in high school at the age of 14. Yeah.
And that was classical bass.
Yeah, he gave me classical, bowing and
right.
Because I was playing in an orchestra. But
so
then
you're a German bow or French bow?
French bow.
French bow, okay.
Because it's more similar to like violin bow.
Right.
Like violin, so it was just easier to switch over.
Mm.
And then, but the teacher also said, "Okay, well, we need a bass player in the jazz ensemble, stage band." So I started playing at the same time, played in the stage band, and that was great.
Nice. And where? What state was? Which one of the many states were this? This was in.
This was Portland, Oregon.
This was in Portland. Okay.
Portland, Oregon. I went to Cleveland High School in Portland, Oregon, and that's when I really decided that I was going to be a musician.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Okay. So after high school, where did you go?
I stayed in Portland for a few years, and then I moved to Los Angeles.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was like 1981. No, sorry, that's wrong. 1979. I moved to
In Los Angeles. So
yeah.
so when did you end up in New York?
I first came in 1983. I had a gig with Abdullah Ibrahim, also known as Dollar Brand.
Dollar Brand, yeah.
Yeah, he actually picked me up in Europe. I was living in Europe, actually, in Amsterdam. And I got a phone call from somebody. I think it might have been Gabby Kleinschmidt. Do you remember her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she would book a lot of bands back then. And so she said, "Hey, Abdullah needs a bass player." So I met the band in Germany and started playing with him. Then Abdullah brought me over to play Sweet Basil in January 1983.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking back, I got to New York. Well, I moved from the Virgin Islands in '85, but I ended up working with Satima Benjamin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
His wife.
So it was his wife, yeah. So it was a trio. It was Stephen Scott, Dwayne Bruno, and myself.
Uh-huh.
And that was a trio. And we went to South Africa with her also. Did some work over there, but we did New York scene and all of that stuff also. So I just wanted to share that because you was working with Dollar Brand and I was working with his wife. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah. I remember she used to have bands.
Yeah.
She used to a lot of people. I didn't know that you had worked with her thoh.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was in the '90s, in the mid '90s. Yeah, because I didn't move to New York until 1990.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but that's great. But you also, along with working with Dollar Brand, you also spent a lot of time with Horizon, with Bobby Watson's band.
Yeah, in the '90s, I had played before with Art Blakey, and I think I connected with Bobby. Well, actually, no, I actually met Bobby when he used to come over to Europe, and he played in Amsterdam, and I went to see him, and that's why I originally met him. But then I reconnected with him because, in Art Blakey's band, a lot of ex-messengers would come back,
right?
Either play or hang, and I met a lot of musicians through that band.
So you met Bobby through Blake, your relationship with Blakey?
Actually, no, I actually met Bobby earlier
before. Okay.
Before, yeah. And I actually saw him play with Blakey in Los Angeles when I was living there.
Okay, then. Okay.
Yeah, there was a place called the Parisian Room. And they came to play. It was like the band that had Bobby, Dave Schnitter, Valerie Pomeroy, Dennis Irwin, and James Williams.
Okay.
Yeah, and Blakey. That was like 1980, I think, or 80. Yeah, it must have been 80.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So, well, you play with some heavy hitters. I mean, it's really great to just see see who you've performed with, like the who's who of jazz royalty.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. And it's really interesting to see that, but because as a jazz musician, it's kind of different from like other genres of music. But as a jazz musician, it's like part of your reputation, building your reputation, is like playing with as many people as you can.
Yes.
Being able to like, hey, I played with this person, I played with that person, I played. It's all part of versus like in the rock world, like this is the band I'm in, and that's the band you're in.
Yeah, so, right.
Share with our audience some of the other jazz icons that you've performed with.
Well, I was when after Blakey, I ended up playing with Freddie Hubbard for a couple of years, and played with Bobby Hutcherson, played with Billy Cobham, and a bunch of other some of these gigs would last maybe like a couple of years or a year or one-shot deals. It was so many.
Well, you work with a lot of drummers also.
Yeah, I worked with a lot of drummers. Worked
Yeah.
with Billy Cobham, worked with Blakey, worked with Jeff Tate Watts,
Al Foster,
Al
Billy
Foster.
Hart.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of drummers, and so I feel fortunate to have been able to
And
work.
do you think that like your association with Art Blakey kind of triggered that? Because you know how the scene is. A lot of cats love Boo, and they will come out and support Boo. So it's like if you're a bass player with Boo, then you're like, okay, this cat is solid. Do
Yeah, I mean, I did meet a lot of musicians through him, a lot
Yeah.
of drummers,
Mhm.
and I think that was my connection. You get so much exposure with that,
Oh yeah.
especially back then.
Oh yeah, definitely,
Yeah,
definitely. So at this point in your life, I mean, I know you've worked with a lot of great people, but you're doing your own thing, and you had a quote that I wrote down. It was really great to see this quote, and I was like, man, I got to bring this to the show because it's similar to what I say. Also, you said I like different types of cultures. Therefore, I play different styles of music.
yes,
Growing up the way you're growing up, coming from, African background with your family, and then traveling the world, you got so much exposure, and it's reflective in your music. Because I remember calling you to come and play with me, and I really didn't have to say much besides like, "Hey, here's the music," because
yeah,
you understood, what was happening right away. Whereas in other situations where some of the musicians didn't have that worldly, exposure and experience, they may not have understand some of those rhythms, you
yeah.
know, technically. So your upbringing has, definitely been influential in your versatility, you know.
Yeah, I believe so because all those different styles, they have something in common, whether it's African, Caribbean,
Right.
Brazilian, jazz, you know, clave,
Mhm.
Latin. They're all cousins of each other, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, they're all are related somehow.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and jazz in New Orleans or whatever. It's just
Mhm.
they all work with each other too very well.
I'm gonna ask you a question. It's not a fair question. I actually don't even know if you're gonna respond to it, but like, what's your favorite style of music to play?
Favorite style.
Yeah,
I,
I'm not really looking for answer because I know it's not really, it's not a fair question per se.
yeah, I would like to say I like many styles.
Right,
Yeah,
right, right,
I
right.
like it. It's just like I think of it as like analogy that I make is like food. You don't want to steak is great, but you don't want to have steak every day
Right, right.
for a meal. You want to have the variety of cultural foods. You know, sometimes vegetarian, sometimes meat, sometimes fish.
Mhm,
Music's like that, different
mhm.
taste.
Right, right.
Yeah.
That's great, man. That's great. So being that you have this, palette for music and food, tell us, tell us about the Intercontinental Bush Organization, EBO.
Igbo.
EBO, yeah.
Yeah, that's the name of my band or
Mhm.
group. And it's also a name of an ethnic group in Nigeria, the Igbo people.
Okay.
And I come from the Ibibio, which is right next to the Igbo. They border each other in
Mhm.
Nigeria. But I thought that was a good name for the band because it kind of describes my philosophy. Uh, Intercontinental,
Right.
uh, bush. I like the bush. Like they say in Africa, I'm in the bush,
Right.
which means it means out in the well, they actually use that in Australia.
Right.
Australian people use being out in the bush.
Mhm.
Organizations, I like that. Sounds more to my liking than a band or a
Right,
group.
right. Right. And
Organization.
everybody knows your favorite saying when they see you is like, Essiet, welcome to the bush.
Welcome to the bush. How's everybody?
How's everybody doing?
Yeah.
And welcome to the bush.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, but that's a great name. That's a great. So
Thank you.
who's in the band?
Well, there's many members, but the core band is Jeff Tate Watts on drums,
Hmm.
Manuel Valera, he's a Cuban guy, on piano, Lionel Leweke guitar, Another guitar that joins the bands is John Butler.
Okay.
And the horn players are Rob Sheps, tenor, and this guy Baptiste Herbin. He was a French guy. When I went over to France, I used him.
Okay.
And try to see if I hope I don't forget anybody. I think that's it. I added this Caribbean guy to do percussion and singing.
Okay.
Wow, I can't believe I forgot his name.
It's gonna come to you.
Yeah, it's gonna come to me.
How long has Ebo been together?
I think they originally got together in the '90s, and they had completely different members. It was when I was living in New York,
Right.
A lot, and I had Tane. This goes way back, but I also had Gene Jackson on drums. I used to have we rehearsed once a week for a whole year when I lived in Brooklyn. We got the music together. We just always rehearsed, and whoever could make it can make it. So I had numerous people on each instruments: guitar,
right,
horns, drums, sometimes piano, keyboards, sax, trumpet. I've had violin.
No, go ahead.
I've had violin players play too. And yeah, I'm open to all this percussion.
Nice.
African percussion.
Yeah. Do you have any gigs coming up with the band anytime soon? I
just did a gig. It was this past summer.
Okay.
And I was trying to get the people, that I have on the record, but they weren't available. So I had to get whoever was available.
Right.
That was a completely different band. That was Dave Kukowski on piano.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Kilson on drums.
Okay.
Myron Walden, sax, and then John Butler was available, so I got him on guitar.
Okay.
Yeah, and we played. We had this outdoor gig, and yeah, I think that was around. After I got a poster actually. If you don't mind me, going and get it.
Sure.
I can go get it.
Sure.
Okay, let me go get it. Okay.
Grab the poster. Yeah, because I want our audience to just really get a good overview of the magnitude of the music and the culture that Essiet is bringing here, because it's something that's very unique, man. I mean, I'm a big fan, and I've known his music and I've heard him play for many years. We played together, so I just wanted the audience to really check out what's happening with music. So, yeah.
Okay, here's the poster. Essiet Ebo Cashew Festival.
Okay, Cashew Fest. Okay.
Yeah, Cashew Fest. And God, it doesn't say where it was. It was out of town.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was this past summer.
Yeah. And it's funny, man, because you mentioned Jeff Tane Watson. I remember coming to the original Zinc Bar on the Monday nights Ron O'Keefe jam session, and it was Ron O'Keefe on guitar, you on bass, and Tane on drums.
Yes,
and that was the band for many years.
It was the band for many years. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of it's funny, like the jazz world is really. It's a small world, and everybody's connected in different ways, and
yeah.
And I really want our audience to kind of understand, the magnitude of how important your voice is to this music, because again, you've played with a lot of prominent musicians, and you've been out here doing this for a while, and I'm honored that you was available to come on the show, and even honored every time I call you and you say yes to come and play with me. So I really want our audience to understand that. We're going to get into some of your music in a minute, but I just wanted I wanted you to explain that to them, like the overview of who you are and what makes you what makes Essiet tick, and the essence behind you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah. So you put out this CD, Ebo. What year did it come out in?
I think it was the end of 2014 into 2015. It was we recorded earlier that year,
Uh-huh.
and part of it was recorded in France, and the other part was recorded in New York City.
Okay.
Yeah, and I had a band. I toured for a couple of weeks in France, and after we toured, then we went to the studio and recorded.
Uh-huh.
And then I came back to New York, and I recorded the other half in New York. And then the producer was Xavier Felgeros. He's from out of Paris.
Okay.
And yeah, that's about it, I guess.
Okay, so you between 2014, 2015.
Yeah,
it came out in 2015.
I think it was the end of 2014, like December 2014.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, I want to start checking out some of this music because it's some great stuff.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. Glad you liked it.
Yeah, man, I've been enjoying it for the past couple of days. The first song you shared with us, I think, is the core band that you mentioned earlier. Is Zangongo.
Zangongo, yes.
Zangongo.
Yeah.
So what's the meaning behind that name?
Well, that's a town in Angola, and people say, or historians say, that Brazilian music originally came from the Angolan people.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it's sort of got a samba vibe, I guess, in it, but it's an odd meter. So
right.
Yeah, that's the connection. The Zangongo is a town in Angola, and Angola had a big influence on Brazilian music.
Right. And what's the meter that the song is in, so our audience can follow?
It's in, I believe it's in 9.
Okay.
But also it's counted one slow 3 and one fast 3.
Okay.
That's how I count it. So it can also say it's in 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But overall it's like 9.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. So Zangongo, let's check it out. Essiet Okon Essiet. Yes, that was Zangongo.
Zangongo.
Yes, Zangongo. All
I guess
right.
it had a swing part too. So
I thought that you said it was like a samba, but that doesn't samba.
not
That
really.
does not have a samba steady 2/4/4/4. Well, you said it was a 9, so
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess that's the only thing I could closely relate it to. You know.
But I really love its energy. Okay. I think the audience was waiting for a samba, you know.
Yeah.
He gave them something else.
It would be hard to do in 9, but
oh yeah, that's hard to do in 9. But heavy bass, I love the heavy bass beat. Who's on the keys? Who's the piano player on that for the audience?
That's Manuel Valera, the Cuban piano player that lives in New York.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a very, very international band. It's people from the States, of course. There's Cubans, a guy from the Caribbean, another guy from France.
Right.
Yeah, so it's very intercontinental.
Intercontinental Bush Organization.
It's an organization.
I love it. It's beautiful. Yeah. And somebody says, I love the triplets and the swing bounce. Yep. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, man. Beautiful.
Yeah, they wanted to accentuate the bass since it was my project.
Right. Of course, it's your project. The bass got to stick out.
You got to stick out.
Yeah, got to be prominent.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's a good mix. I mean, I'm enjoying it. I know all the cats on the record, so I know how proficient and they're just some bad musicians. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
And great writing too, man. That's the original song, right?
Yes, that's original. Yes.
Yeah.
They're all originals.
They're all originals. Okay. Yes. Great. One of the other songs you shared is from the same Shana album. And so Shana, the name of the album, how did that name come about?
Now Shana's from another part of Africa. It's from Zimbabwe, the Shana people. Because actually I didn't include one song that has some, when they play the Imbira.
Yeah,
that's Shana people.
Okay.
That's why I sort of like incorporated some of that rhythms into the first song, which is actually called Shana, which I didn't send you that one because it's a bit long.
Right. Okay.
Time wise. But that's the meaning of that.
So Shana, the name is named off of the Shana people.
And they're famous for playing Imbira, which they call them kalimba in this country.
Right.
But it's Imbira in Zimbabwe culture.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Great. So the next song that you shared with us is the same band, has another vibe on it. And this song is entitled Brother Nelson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
who's Brother Nelson?
Brother Nelson was my younger brother.
Okay.
That he has a big influence on me. He passed away in 1999.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And he always said to me, you play jazz, but you got to mix the African elements into your jazz because that's what we are. We're Nigerian people, and we got to show the influence of the Nigerian African side. And I totally agreed with him. I was like, yes. And that's actually when the band first started. It was in the 90s. Mm-hmm. And he was around.
Okay.
That he passed away in 1999. He actually went back to Nigeria, and he was a prominent businessman. He was getting ready to blow up, actually. Mm-hmm. He had contracts for all kinds of things in Western Africa. And unfortunately, he passed away before anything came to fruition.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So this song is dedicated to him.
Okay. Well, let's check out this dedication of your song to Brother Nelson.
Thank you.
That's definitely a fusionish vibe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, fusion was
Like the fusion of so many jazz elements. Yeah, man.
yeah. I like fusion when I was growing up too. And
Okay.
a lot of my music has two guitars, so sometimes people like what they can't tell. Well, I have John Butler on guitar and
Mhm.
Leon Lewicki on guitar because also in African music or high life music they also have two or three guitars sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you're playing electric on that.
Yes, I'm playing electric on that. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's important for the audience to know that, not only are you versatile, upright jazz bassist, but, you're more than accomplished on the electric bass as well.
Yeah. I pretty much started electric same time I did upright in high school.
Okay.
And I'm playing in the band now with Vincent Herring. It's called Something Else. which is I play like 75% electric in that band.
Wow, with Vincent Herring.
Vincent Herring in his band, yeah. Okay. It's called Something Else. Yeah. That's
great, man. That's great. So what's your favorite? Upright, electric, like two different.
That's a hard one because, they express different emotions on each instrument. And I think that, I don't really have a favorite. I like them both.
Right. So it's really interesting. Like, again, the majority of times I'm seeing you're playing on upright. But when I'm hearing you with your band, you're bringing that element of all genres that you like. So as you're really going back to that palette, like you're talking about, like one day you'll have steak, one day you'll have fish, next day you'll be vegetarian. So it's really it's really great to listen to the variety of songs that you have, and they're great songs. They're not like a song. It's like it's a orchestrated piece.
Yes. I guess it was developed from so many rehearsals and playing together and tours, and it developed into something. Because I believe that if you have a band that wants to develop something, they got to spend time doing it.
Oh yeah.
Because of course, because you have your band for a long time. It takes a long time before it evolves into something.
Yeah.
Yes. And you have a lot of the same members for a while. Sometimes I understand it's hard to get the same people because people get busy.
Right.
But you try to get as much as the same people as much as you can.
And a lot of times when you write something, just the fair fact, that you're playing it with people that understand you and what you're bringing.
Yeah.
You may evolve into something else. You'd be like, wow, I didn't know it could go in that direction, but that's the direction that everybody hears it going in.
That's all my songs are like that. What I had in my head is nothing like that.
That's not what I wrote, literally, but okay, this is where we are today. It's 5 years later, this is where we are. No, man, this is great,
It's part of the evolution of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's evolving, and it actually sometimes gets better than what I imagined. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. As you said, that's all of my songs. I love it.
You wrote a lot of the same thing, right?
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm laughing. I'm like, that's what it is. You hear one thing, but then as soon as the cats get a hold of it,
they bring their personality into it.
Yeah. And there's something, that's one of the things that I really miss especially on the jazz scene is like bands. When I first came to New York in 1990, there were a lot of bands. Clifford Jordan was still around. A.T. had a band. Of course, R. Blakey and the Jazz Messengers, and Max Roach had his band. And it was like, bands were just prominent. You had Cecil Taylor with his band. Betty Carter had her group. Cats were playing in bands, and like you said, there was rehearsals. In order to be part of this organization, you had to make time to rehearse.
Yes. I missed that too, because when I first came to town, there was a lot of bands.
There was a lot of bands.
And they used to have auditions every summer.
Yeah. Exactly.
So-and-so is Horace Silver is going to audition. Everybody heard about it through word of mouth. They go down Don Sickler's and audition.
Right. And you'd be there like standing in line like everybody else waited. But then that was the band for like a year or 2 years.
Yeah.
And then when somebody else decided to leave, then it's like, okay, cool, we have an audition to replace. Or that person recommended someone,
Yes.
Yeah, but there were bands. Like when you went to, like, for instance, Blakey. I know Blake every year when I was in college at Rutgers, I knew Christmas, New Year's, the Hank Spotters, Sweet Basil, R. Blakey.
Yep.
And that band will be together for like 4 or 5 years, especially if you had a new band, everybody's showing up to see who's in the new band.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that was the thing, but bands don't exist anymore. And, we talked about earlier in the show, yes, you want to be able to play, build your name playing with as many jazz musicians as you can. But it was a thing that I remember having a conversation with A.T. one time, and he was talking about apprenticeship. Especially when the young cats came to town.
Yes.
They will go around and sit in, and the older cats will hear them and say, hey, man, this cat sounds good, he should spend some time over here with such and such to figure these things out, and then he can move on to this.
Yes.
That apprenticeship doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, it's sad because that was like a school.
That was a school.
But the streets of New York, that's the school of the streets of New York, because that's like a learning experience with the best musicians in the world.
Yeah,
The best jazz musicians in the world. You're playing with so and so, all these name guys in their band. You learn so much, you grow so much.
yeah, exactly, man. When I was playing with Monty Alexander, Monty, when he was in town, you know, he would call me and say, man, bring a bass drum and a snare drum, a hi-hat, a cymbal to my hotel. And we would sit there from like 10 in the morning to 5 o'clock just with his, melodica.
Yeah, melodica.
And just play. And he was like, okay, on this tune, this is the vibe. And I want this. And we would talk about rhythms.
Yeah.
You know, his music is thought through. It's like, this is what I want on this song. And this is how I want you to play it. And it was rhythms like the Frank Gant rhythm when Frank was playing with Ahmad Jamal. That's the rhythm he played. That's the, and all of this stuff was worked out, and that's missing because so many of those lessons that I learned with Donald Harrison, just sitting up with him rehearsing on certain just sax and drums is like that's missing, and that's what made a band cohesive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You could become like, if you guys combine, it becomes not individual, but
right,
a good basketball team.
Exactly.
They could read each other's thoughts and knew where each other was going.
Yep.
And it made a great band. It's a combination of greater
I
than
think that's missing on the scene, man. I really wish that concept, But hey, that's the you know what I'm saying.
Maybe it'll come back around, huh? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe because it was so beautiful to have that, man. But I want to continue because again, your music is just wonderful, and I just want our audience. I don't want to run out of time. I want our audience to get a full feel of what's happening. The next song you share with us is a reggae is tune. It has, like you call it, Nigerian reggae, and this is Essiet.
Essiet. It means stone in Ibibio language, or rock or stone.
Okay. Well, let's check it out.
Okay.
Essiet. Yeah, man, I really enjoyed the swing on top of that reggae. Yeah. Reminds me of Essiet Okon Ubong.
Ubong.
You know who that is?
Yes, Nigerian guy, right?
I think so.
Yeah, that's a Nigerian name.
Okay.
That's a BBO name, Ubong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, some Nigerian folks are checking you out, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, beautiful.
Yeah. So beautiful, man. Like I said, I like the swing, but the reggae vibe on the high, but then Tane goes to that swing is nice.
Yeah. It's just open for whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Great music, man. Great music. We're pushing for time, but we got one more. We got time for one more. Okay. So and this is let's just jump into it and we could talk about it after. This is like a high life tune. This is Epokut.
Ipokut. It means shoes. Shoes in the BBO language. Shoes.
Shoes. Okay.
Yeah.
Shoes. Let's check it out. Yeah, man. I love those changes, bro.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, just keep going on and on and on. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's a cycle.
yeah, beautiful. Reminds me of Brazilian jazz from my homeland. Yeah, okay.
Wow.
There's some South African than the other songs tonight. This is more South African than the other songs tonight. Yeah, I love this. Yeah.
You say South American.
He said South American? I thought it was
Yeah.
South African.
Yeah.
Okay. This one is fun. Love the feel. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
people are checking out your music, man. Checking you out.
Oh yeah, I had to put that in there. You know, it's
Oh,
my homeland. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Ipaku.
Ipoka.
Ipoku. Yeah,
Ipoka.
yeah.
It's the language as these.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just different than
Yeah, yeah. But no, I'm making my notes. Ipoku. Yeah.
Ipoka. Yeah.
I love it, man. It's a nice vibe. You know.
Thank you.
Ding, 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 ding,
Yeah.
ding. And it modulates. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to get. You know, of course, Lionel's on guitar, so he's from Benin, which is right next to Nigeria.
Right.
He knows it. But then I had John Butler on guitar too. He's an American guy.
Right.
And Drop Sheps is on sax, and Manuel Valera. It's an international band. You know?
Yeah. But everybody understands the rhythm. Like you say, it's all connected.
It's all connected, yes.
Once you find that connection, then there's a lot of things you can do musically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, man, our time is up, and I'm having so much fun just enjoying this great music, man.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's great. I'm so glad to reconnect with you again.
Oh, yeah.
I always loved your music and your personality and everything.
Likewise.
And so happy that you called me for this.
Oh, yeah, man. Likewise, man. You know, hopefully when you put out another CD, let me know. We will definitely want to have you back and feature it on the show.
I will do that for sure.
Okay, great. Or any great project you got coming up, let us know.
Okay.
Before I let you go, can you share with our audience how they can follow you through social media, websites, let them know where they can, how they can stay in touch with you and follow you?
Yes, well, I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and I guess Messenger is part of Instagram, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. So they can follow me through that. Through that.
Under your name or under what?
Yeah, Essiet.
Essiet.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, if you'd like to reach me directly for any gigs, Essiet56@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. Good. Essiet56@gmail.com.
Or just one Essiet.
Essiet56@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And,
right. You guys heard that. Any gigs for him or any, if you want to follow him on social media, Essiet56@gmail.com is his personal email.
Yes. My brother's calling me right now. His,
You
his
call
name
you
is
a gig?
his name is Okon. His name is Okon Essiet.
Okon Essiet.
Yeah,
And you're Essiet Okon
Okon
Essiet.
Essiet. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's
All
my
right.
my other brother.
Okay. All in the
Yeah,
family. All in the family.
yeah.
Well, man, listen, man. It's always a pleasure having you on the show, man. And thank you for taking the time to share your story, your music, and just who you are, your spirit, man. I just love it, man. Thank you again, bro.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
All right.
Okay.
All right. You take care, man. Continued success to you, Essiet. And that was the one and only Mr. Essiet Okon Essiet, hanging out with us tonight, sharing his music from his CD, Shana, which is a village, in Africa, right next to where he grew up. So we want to thank him for joining us tonight. I want to invite you to come back next week as we bring to you another amazing, talented musician. This gentleman his name is Derek Demar Martin, and he has some stories for you, and he has some great music for you. Master producer, he works with everyone, drummer, arranger, producer. So come back and join us next week as we present Derek Demar Martin to Sounds of the Diaspora. Thank you again. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you guys. Wish you all a good night. Take care. Bye.